Hello everyone, welcome to the Thinking Marketing Podcast, where we learn about principles, ideas, trends, and everything interesting from cutting-edge marketers. Today, I'm very happy to be joined by Kalle Mobeck. Kalle is currently leading all the efforts related to sales and marketing at leading performance marketing agency Twigeo. Before doing this, he was a CEO at Relatable, which is an influencer marketing agency that he and his team took from $0 to $10 million in revenue before selling the company for $20 million in 2021. And this is not just a one-off thing. In all the companies where Kalle has been responsible for the commercial side, he's managed to either raise capital to turn them into bigger and profitable businesses or selling them. Through his career, Kalle has developed a deep understanding for a lot of topics within marketing. And today we are diving into two very current and interesting ones. First, we talk about storytelling in marketing, how you use it to communicate deeply with your customers, and why it's so crucial for any marketer that looks to be successful in the AI era. Then we dive into the topic of influencer marketing, what's working right now, what trends are coming, and how to become successful with your influencer marketing efforts. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to follow my newsletter at thinkingmarketing.io, as well as me on social media channels. Also, give Kalle a follow on his LinkedIn profile, where he shares his ideas and thoughts from his perspective. And without further ado, here's the conversation with Kalle Mobeck. So, one of the topics that we're going to talk about today is storytelling in marketing. And I mean, it's a hot topic right now. I see a lot of people talking about this. I've read a lot about it. And it's one of those topics that is like super exciting and interesting, but also I think sometimes a little bit hard to grasp. Yeah. So what is storytelling in marketing to you, and why is it so crucial?
Yeah, but I think it starts with the crucial part of it. Like, if you think of storytelling, it's the essence for how we as humans communicate with each other, and it's not new. It's been that for ages, and you even have like these older books, like, the Bible and so on, filled with stories that we still learn from today. So I would say it's the basics for how we engage, teach, and the most relatable way of communicating with people, and the way for us to be able to easily get other people interested in what we are saying. And I think all of us, you and I, all you listening, have been to one of these seminars when somebody just goes on with a method and it seems like it never ends. And it's usually because they didn't include any stories into it. And now, why is it crucial, and why is it the future of marketing these days? Technology has changed marketing. And of course it has. But it has forced storytelling to become a big element of it. I will say because now everyone can basically create content themselves. And then again, good content, bad content, it's not the same, but everyone can. But with that also comes more content pieces than ever. And storytelling becomes more important. And then I will also say the platforms, it usually works the same. You get into a new platform, all content is fun, everybody engages, you post, you write about how you brushed your teeth on Facebook in the beginning, till not posting and becoming a lurker and so on. That is the same kind of social media cycle. And the longer a cycle goes, the more important it will be for you to create really good and valuable content. So for example, if you want to start off today and say cool, I don't know what to create, or content maybe isn't that good, then maybe try Threads that just got released, and you will get away with much more stuff.
So for content to be good, it needs to include some kind of story or storytelling to resonate with the person on the other side.
Yeah, I would say that. Just looking image ads, it also needs to convey a story. But then you also need to know who is the story for, and how do you address their story.
So how do you figure that out?
So good storytellers, they don't focus on themselves. It's not like Nike, best shoe brand ever. It's usually stories about other athletes, movements, and so on. So you're talking to you and not about themselves. Like a good friend as well. A really good friend is one that focuses on you and not solely on themselves.
So you mean, like, for instance, Nike, one of their commercials would be this person running or someone like taking a chance doing something, and that is a story that people can relate to because they also want to do the same thing, like it resonates with their dreams, etc., rather than just saying this is a shoe that will make you run faster.
It's like about struggle, somebody getting started. It's you. They talk to you. Like, yeah, I will overcome struggle. That's a feeling I felt, like probably all humans have felt that. They talk to you about things that you can relate to, and then kind of like the vehicle before it, okay, it's the shoe that you will buy in the end of the day to like, okay, now I'm on my way, I will overcome the struggle. But it's not about like, I haven't like seen a Nike commercial saying the best shoe, and then now somebody's going to comment on this and send a commercial on that, but in general it isn't. And I think it's easy as a B2C brand as well to get stuck on that. Not saying that you should not talk about what things you're really good at, but do it in a way that resonates to the other person.
So for crafting these stories, there are some like general narratives, like the hero's journey, which is maybe the most famous one. Yeah. Then there are some other ones. Are these like frameworks that you can look to start building your marketing storytelling, or what do you say?
Yeah, I think it's quite important that you have some kind of framework that you work after. And I think it should be different kind of frameworks depending on where you are at in the customer journey. But as you say in the beginning, like with the hero's journey, like who is the hero? Okay, so the hero is probably the customer. Who's the guide? Like we always have a guide in the movies. It's kind of like, let's say, who's the hero in like the Lord of the Rings? Yeah, but it's Frodo. But you have Sam, he's the guide, and the guide usually represents, like it's going to be the brand in these cases. I think it's super important that you get that right. And I would say just, you say like, oh, but that's certain. I would say not. I think a book like all marketeers should read and should evaluate their like marketing efforts with is Donald Miller's How to Build a Story Brand. That kind of goes into that, like how do you position your client as the hero and how do you build the story brand script in everything that you do. You need to have a lot of different things as a brand. You need to have like creative frameworks for how you're going to work with creatives, everything. When it comes to the storytelling parts, it comes back to what I think also would be the main driver in marketing, creativity and ideation. Like if the main idea or creative is not good enough to how to connect with your customers, it will be hard.
So, I mean, I think it's interesting what you're talking about, how the creative needs to be really good. Like a story sounds like something that you write down and that's it. A lot goes into how does the creative actually look? Yeah. Like who's in it? What's the whole like scene that the thing is happening in, etc. So a lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, it is. As you say, there's a lot of things to figure out and there's a lot of things to optimize these days. But if you don't have the ideas and the right creatives, the iterations is like, it's not going to change things. Yeah. So you need to have right ideas connected to your brand that speaks to the hero, your customer.
Another topic that you're an expert in and have a lot of experience in is influencer marketing. So I was thinking we should talk a little bit about that as well. What do you say?
Yes, let's do it.
Cool. How has it developed over the past years and where are we at right now?
We have seen the rise from like kind of like getting influence and then probably like maybe the term influencer as well to actually becoming media companies. That was like one of the vision of Relatable was that like we would people would become media companies. Like when we said it in 2016, it was felt like, wow, if that happens, that people will have as much clout as media companies. That would be great. And now when you and I talk, we're like, yeah, go and listen to Joe Rogan's podcast or to Mr. Beast or some other like really big creator. They are media companies. So that has happened. But there's been changes, like the celebrity endorsement were on the higher end. Some still are, like it is really expensive to work with celebrities. But influencers, creators was not on the same level at all. But now it's like, there's a lower end when you talk about massive following. Influencers are more expensive. So that has also opened up the possibilities for brands to work with celebrities as well. And I would say I would throw in the celebrity endorsement into the creator influencer space because it's about having influence on other people. And I also said the biggest change on the media side is that brands now have a plan. When we started Relatable and when I came in, there weren't really like a plan for most companies, like, we're going to buy this. It's more like, okay, we have some funny money over. Can we do something? And I was like, it needs to be a part of your strategy. So I would say it's a more mature channel now with more mature creators.
People are talking more about creators rather than influencers now. Is there a shift in what's expected from the influencers and what you need to be good at?
You need to talk. You can still you can still do images, but with the change of stories, reels, and TikToks, YouTube Shorts, and so on, you have to do video content is much more complex than doing images. So I would say the skill set that has changed the game is you need to be able to talk like this and do video content.
Is there an aspect of it having to be more authentic content that relates to the influencer's story and brand as well?
People in general in the digital world are tired of bad marketing and ads that isn't telling a story, that aren't engaging and relatable. We want a good story. We want to buy into this.
All right. So with that in mind, what are the do's and don'ts of influencer marketing? If I'm a brand that wants to really tap into this channel, what should I think about in 2023 and forward?
Maybe start with the fun side of it, what you should do and so on. You need to embrace storytelling, finding creators that really loves your product, manage the community, talk to them, set aside communication to your core ambassadors. Doesn't have to take that much time. You will have everyone on board and engaged. And the same when you do newsletters to your regular customers and so on. And then I would say since the algorithms is making it harder to really reach out these days, you need to also do paid. Amplify branded content ads or partner ads and so on. Otherwise, you will not maximize the result of the campaign. And then I think looking at the metrics from marketers, the engagement rate was this, and we got this many views. But you need to look at the incremental measurement, look at the real results. So what did it drive? Brand lift studies and so on. How did it move our brand? Did it affect the sales? Did it change the perception of our brand? I would also say maximize the content that you do. Use them everywhere. Really important.
And I mean, today as well, I think even if it's a huge account, it's a hit or miss, if the content doesn't fly, no one will see it, even in the following. So that's why you also need to put some money behind it. Should you lock in creators to long-term partnerships?
I think long-term strategy is important. It's not going to be believable if I just do it once. So think about authenticity again. If you have ambassadors who already love your product, get them on board, work with them long-term. You have a perfect opportunity there. So I say in general, more long-term. And if you're going to do short-term things, be creative, focus on good storytelling.
So product needs to be really embedded into the influencers' or creators' content and vibe and everything, right?
Yes.
UGC ads have been, it's like the hot thing for the past, I don't know, 1-2 years.
I think that all of that will disappear in the upcoming years. I think it'll be AI generated. We're on a quite good level already, early on, to be able to create content. We're doing it here at Twigeo, creating actually a performance winner, like recently, for a client. And like your imagination is the only thing holding you back. And we're so early with this. Imagine that you just have a prompt person working with this, or like a creative engineer instead, like more sexy title than a prompt person. So a creative engineer, just doing this like a designer full time. You will be able to get us good content. I think video will live longer. Images, that can go quite quick.
Yeah. I mean, for images, we're pretty much already there, I guess.
Yeah, I think some details. If you just get the details right, like that sometimes the details aren't working, and that you can say like, oh, he should look like you, and he should always look like that character. Then I think like, we're not far from that.
No, exactly. So how did you get that performance winner using Midjourney at Twigeo?
Yeah, so it's really interesting to have this client that is really into trying out new things, which I could love those. That's why like, okay, just move the needle, do good storytelling, and try something new. So we tried we did UGC, we did the images, we did video, we tried a couple of those, and then we figured out like maybe we'll do Midjourney, and we connect Midjourney and do voice over. So this was kind of like, I would say, like a fantasy product app. So it worked really well with us also doing that kind of design. So not realistic design, but more, that's a design that's in a book and so on. And that killed it. It's been great with both the storytelling, the images, and we've been able to scale it. We scale the same concept now, and it continues to deliver iterations. But it was like we had a creative session, we sat down, okay, what could really push this brand? We could probably do it in Midjourney, and we could create these stories that will voice over, that just can contain different imagery, that will tell this story about this, artsy design kind of brand. And it really worked. So I think it's super interesting to say okay, connecting imagery from Midjourney, voiceovers, making it kind of like a video/story, outperforming UGC content creators and all other ads.
So then it was like a video with a different photos appearing after one another.
Yes.
Voiceover. Was the voiceover also AI generated?
Ooh, it's a good question. I'm not certain. It could have been. We do it from time to time, but from time to time we also edit it ourselves because the ranges, we can then we can be more specific. But what we've done with AI voice, or so far, we did work with this ride sharing app in New York, where it's an AI rap with the top performing ad. It's an AI rap from CapCut. That is it's killing it. It's killed all other ads. It's just the best ad.
Amazing.
And who thought half a year ago or a year ago that we'll be sitting here talking about we need to do more AI raps.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird time for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird time with a lot of options, which makes it tougher to be a marketeer. But I think it's always go back to the core. Storytelling. Who are you talking to? Who is your brand? I think when we get maybe distracted, or when we get these many options, we go back to the core. Go back to the core. Because if we have the core, it will be easy to go in the right direction.
How do you see the role of influencers evolving from here?
Some brave friends already tried the virtual influencer creator, Root. I think that will become even more popular, especially now. Now when you can create content that you don't really know if it's real or not, will there be a lot of influencers creators that aren't real in the future? So I think that is a big trend that will happen. And I think the measurement part, the media buyers will demand better measurement as well. And I think concept wise and how you work with it will be more as how you've been working with marketing across the funnel. It'll be more funneled, we'll more have a full funnel approach. It's still quite early on, but there will be more of a full funnel approach in the future.
Okay, cool. Exciting times ahead.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this chat today. It's been a lot of fun and very insightful as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And until next time.
Yeah, until the next time.